is the challenge of church. This is where I kind of wanted to start at the beginning, but then I decided to bring it around at the end, and it's probably going to be a bunch of messages from different angles. But I've been so passionate for so long by reading God's word that his answer to the brokenness and darkness of the world is the church. As we've been studying that the temple, that the rivers of living water flow from the temple to bring healing to the nations, to bring life where there is death, that we are the temple. The church is the temple. We are what irrigates a barren world. The church is. And right now we're living in a time where people do not value the church. They don't. I mean, we do. That's why we're here. But many people don't value the church. And it's been shown statistically. But it's a catch-22 because the church has often been contrary to the way that God does it in heaven. And so you meet so many people and they say, I have a personal relationship with Jesus, but I don't go to church. But part of the problem is because the church has been built with things that don't belong in heaven. And we can see all the signs of it. So many people are even beyond that, and they've gone beyond, I believe in Jesus, but I don't go to church, and they've gone to, I can't stand Jesus, and I can't stand Christians, and I can't stand Christianity. And, like the traditions of men will say, because they're children of the devil, and they're evil, and they're dark. No. A lot of this is the result of us trying to conform people externally through manipulation and fear. And they've been hurt by a church that has been contrary to the ways of heaven. And they've been driven not just from the church, but from faith in Jesus. Through the church that wants to do good, wants to please God, and believes it's pleasing God, but hasn't gone deep enough in God's word to recognize the things that agree with heaven and don't agree with heaven. Whatever you bind on earth will have been bound in heaven. Whatever you loose on earth will have been loosed in heaven. If I can't see it as it is in heaven, I mean, really, use our noggin. You know the way we even act about spiritual directors or leaders or whatever. Like, how does God really lead us? He doesn't micromanage us. For heaven's sake, he lets us mess up way too much, in my opinion. He's so forgiving and merciful, it's almost offensive. But think of how he's dealt with you, if we're being honest. As in heaven, so on earth. Do we reflect that? But somehow the religious programming comes in, and we act contrary to what we know is true or what we can read is true. And so really and when I realize that the church needs to be restored for the nations to be healed, and that people need to see the value of church, these are the two pivoting points. How do we restore, how do we build the value of church in a world that we live in today so that people value the church and do it because they believe, because they're bought in, because they're persuaded? And how do we build the kind of church that reflects heaven rather than the systems of this world? I think this is the big challenge before us today. So many people are looking to politics to save us, and it won't. And education by itself will not save us. I mean, somebody well said, today when you meet people, they say, you ask kids, what do you want to be when you grow up? That's a loaded question. I was reading a book on wisdom. It said, what about the question, what kind of person do you want to be when you grow up? All of a sudden, everything shifts. You see what I'm saying? That we have so many challenges that, education is very important, and it's what the Bible put priority on. but it's got to be an education that agrees with heaven, not just makes us cogs in a wheel to fulfill a function. But you hear it from Christian parents all the time. They just need to be taught how to get a good job rather than how to live well. What kind of person do you want to be? What brings real satisfaction and joy in life? But that's getting back to how do I know that's as it is in heaven? Because it's what's revealed in God's word. And these words which I have commanded you, you shall teach them diligently to your children. You'll talk about them as you go on your way. God's priority has always been in education, in wisdom, and in love, that the purpose is to grow wise and loving human beings that flourish at the highest level, who bring healing and reconciliation to the nations, the church. It's the ministry of the Levites. Education was a ministry of the Levites. It has to agree with heaven. But the point is, we have to figure out how to persuade the world of the value of the church, and we have to recruit the people of the world who come to be persuaded to rebuild it his way. Because when it's not built his way, they have a personal faith in Jesus but don't believe in church or have even rejected Christ. Those are the things that I pray God would turn around in our day.